Phoenix. Phoenix Brothers Productions.
Hey, what's up guys? Nick here from Phoenix Reviews. As you can see, I'm alone. You know, Phil's not here. It's finally my time to shine. No, I actually miss him. No, actually not really. No, I don't. Alright, but yeah, it's my first solo review, guys. Wish me luck. Bit nervous here. Nah, but anyway, so yeah, the game I chose to review today is Batman Arkham Knight. And then the reason I came to Batman Arkham Knight is I remember my history with the Arkham series. Like, I remember when I played Asylum and I played City, even Origins. You know, they're all great games, and you know, I just remember having so much fun with these games, and you know, a lot of their mechanics and gameplay is very unique to this series. Like, so just a brief overview of the story. You play as Batman. Duh.
Well, duh.
I mean, who would have thought you play as Batman in a Batman game, right? No, but seriously, the game begins, I think, 9 months to the Arkham City ends. And spoiler alert, well, you guys, come on. The game has been out for 4 years now, so I expect you guys have played already. So there's going to be a few spoilers in this review, guys. So yeah, the game begins about 9 months after Arkham City ends, and it actually begins with Joker's cremation. So, you know, Joker's dead, so this is when Scarecrow gets an opportunity, or sees an opportunity to actually take Joker's place. You know, he wants to be the new crime boss of the city and kill Batman. So yeah, you got a whole bunch of villains in this game. You got Scarecrow, obviously. You got Two-Face. You got Penguin. There's quite a few villains in this game. Quite a few DC characters. So, and there's also a new character called the Arkham Knight. Like, I remember before this game came out, there was a whole bunch of hype, you know, surrounding the Arkham Knight character. Everyone was saying, "Oh, who is actually this Arkham Knight?" You know, and I actually knew who it was before the game actually came out. You know, I know the Batman comics like pretty well. I consider myself to be a big Batman fan, so I knew who it was. So it wasn't really a surprise to me when it was revealed who he is. It was interesting to see Scarecrow being announced as the main villain in this game and the Arkham Knight, because, you know, something different. Because, you know, whenever you see like a Batman movie or like a Batman comic, or, you know, anything related to Batman, pretty much, you know, you see the Joker, you know, obviously, and that's understandable. Like, the Joker is Batman's, you know, arch nemesis and stuff. He's the main villain of Batman. But at the same time, it would be nice to see something different. You know, it'd be nice to see like a different villain, you know, take his place and see like a different take on the story. So the Scarecrow is the main villain in this game, and so is the Arkham Knight. But at the same time, Joker is in this game, and he's in this game a lot. I did mention the Joker is dead, but the reason why he's still in this game is, you know, there is a story reason. And, you know, I won't tell you guys that. You know, if you haven't played the game yet, you will, you know, find out when you play the game. Felt like Joker, you know, he was there. You know, he had his time in Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. You know, he was there. He had his time to shine. You know, just like Phil had his time to shine in his Dead Rising movie. You know, it's my time to shine. You know, no, but you know, I just felt like, you know, they should have given the Joker a backseat and not just kind of like, you know, continuously shove Joker in our faces. Like, you know, here, you know, Joker's in the game. You know, he's over here, he's over there. But he is voiced by Mark Hamill again, which is cool. Some people, you know, liked it that Joker was in the game, but for me, I just wish, you know, he would have taken a backseat, you know, and given you know, the other characters more of a time to shine. Okay, so there's 4 main gameplay mechanics to this game. So you have the combat section, which is the free flow combat. You have the stealth sections, which is the predator gameplay. You have the detective sections, which basically you're like looking for clues and, you know, like basically the investigation gameplay. And then finally you have the Batmobile gameplay, which is so overused in my opinion. So overused, in fact, that I thought I was playing World of Tanks or Battlefield at some point. Alright, so the combat in this game is basically the free flow combat like you see in the other games. You know, same great formula, except there's like, you know, that they've actually improved it. So you can actually use the environment in combat this time. So for example, you know, if there's like a chandelier up top, you can actually knock it down and hit the guy with it. It's pretty cool. Or you can like electrify him by hitting him into a generator. You can actually use the enemy's weapons against them. So if you hit a guy, you know, he might drop a baseball bat or like a pipe or something. And you can actually pick it up and, you know, use it against the enemy for a short amount of time. You can also like disarm enemies. Obviously, you know, Batman's only human, so technically, you know, the first enemies you should actually go for are the ones with the guns. So the enemies with the guns are actually really lethal in this game. So, you know, you should aim to take them out first. So yeah, that was the combat of the game. It's actually really fun. It's like really rhythmic, I guess. It's got a rhythm to it. So you know, you hit one guy, you hit the next guy. It gets really fun and addictive as you play. So yeah, then you got the predator sections. So the predator sections are like the stealth sections of the game. There's so many ways to play stealthy in this game. So you can actually use distractions. You know, you can use batarangs as both offensive attacks, or you can use them as distractions. You know, you can use them in other ways. It's really cool. And you got all these other gadgets you can use. You can use a voice synthesizer to actually, you know, distract enemies and lure them into different places. You can actually use explosive gel for distractions. There's so many things you can do in this game when you're playing stealthily. You can hang up enemies up top, you know, where the gargoyles are and stuff like that. It's great stealth gameplay. Go underground in the grates. You know, surprise your enemies from down below. You can come from up top. It's really cool. It's and the thing is, you can drop in and out of stealth. So you know, it's not like if an enemy spots you, then that's it. You know, they're always going to know where you are. So you can actually, you know, stay hidden for a short amount of time and then actually, you know, return to stealth mode. So yeah, and then next you got the detective mode of the game. So the detective mode is like not used as much as it is in Arkham City, which is a shame, because I actually really enjoyed that part of the game. There's a reconstruction mode. So for example, if you enter a crime scene and you're basically trying to find out what happened, you know, so for example, if a character got kidnapped, you can basically enter this reconstruction mode, and basically it's like you're reversing time, you're fast forwarding time and reversing it, and basically you're seeing these holograms, and you're basically trying to figure out what happened, you know, which direction, you know, they went to, or you know, if there's any clues in the environment. And if there is clues, then you basically have to scan them and look for more clues. And might be some other sections, like you might be looking at some CCTV footage and you're trying to find out, you know, which way a vehicle went, and you know, you have to scan through the CCTV footage and try to figure out, you know, what happened and stuff. So the Riddler challenges have always been around in the Arkham games, you know, since Asylum, and the Arkham games, like these are the Arkham games are the only games where I actually go out my way to actually, you know, look for the collectibles, like the Riddler trophies, you know, the Riddler challenges and stuff like that. So I remember Arkham Asylum, you know, I spent hours, you know, trying to solve, you know, all the Riddler challenges, you know, trying to find all the Riddler trophies. It was really, really cool, you know, just going back, you know, after finishing the game and just, you know, searching for all the trophies and stuff. Some of them are really interesting, like you have to actually, like sometimes you might spot a Riddler trophy, you might spot like a Riddler challenge, and you know, you won't have the correct, you know, gadget or piece of equipment to actually get the trophy or the challenge. So you'll have to like come back to it. So like, not just like a simple collectible that's like, you know, lying around in the middle of nowhere. I mean, some of them are like that, but not all of them. And most of them you actually have to solve like a riddle or use a specific gadget to actually collect it. Alright, so finally we come to the Batmobile section. So how is this section of the game? Well, it's both good and bad in my opinion. Like, yeah, it's great to drive around and, you know, use your boost and, you know, just, you know, race through Gotham, you know, really, really fast and stuff like that. It's pretty cool to drive. It's really, really easy to you know, go around corners and stuff. You can actually drift around corners and stuff. It's pretty cool. And it also looks really cool. I mean, the Batmobile. To be honest, the Batmobile in this game is actually my favorite. It's probably my favorite version of the Batmobile. To be honest, it's just used too much in the game. There's like so many tank battles in the game. So there's like sections of the city that are closed off because, you know, there's like tanks there, and you basically have to clear out all the tanks, and it's just used too much. I mean, there's okay, bit of a spoiler, but Deathstroke is in this game, right? And he basically gets foreshadowed a bit later on in the game, and you know, it kind of builds up to this fight, you know, this fight that's going to happen between Batman and Deathstroke. And then finally, like, you know, when you finally, you know, get to Deathstroke, he's in a bloody tank. And you know, you're expecting like a proper fist fight with him, you know, like a hand-to-hand combat. And you know, Deathstroke, if you guys know the comics, and if you guys know the Deathstroke character, then you know that, you know, Deathstroke is actually he's actually a better fighter than Batman, you know, when it comes to hand-to-hand. He's actually defeated Batman, you know, numerous times. So, you know, it would have been a really, really cool fight to see, but unfortunately, you know, he is in a tank. But Batmobile is used a bit too much in the game, to be honest. I mean, you know, it's used in combat, it's used in puzzles, you know, it's used in damn Riddler puzzles. I mean, come on. Like, the Riddler actually designed tracks for the Batmobile. It's like he knew the Batman would bring his Batmobile, and he designed tracks that can only be completed with the Batmobile. So you know, I'm just wondering, it's used a bit too much in my opinion. Yeah, you know, this game should have been called, you know, it shouldn't have been called Batman Arkham Knight. It should have been called Batman, you know, Arkham Batmobile or something. You know, Batmobile edition. But, you know, overall, at least it is fun to drive. There's like a pretty cool thing you can do where you can actually eject yourself out of the Batmobile and, you know, traverse into transition into, like, you know, your gliding through the city. Yeah, so I recently replayed the game and I was actually shocked at how good this game looked. I mean, this game came out in 2015 and it actually holds up, like, more than holds up today. You know, especially compared to a lot of the games out today, like that came out recently. You know, just the texture of Batman's suit. You know, the reflection. You know, just the detail of his suit. It's like it looks amazing. You know, it's like you can actually zoom all the way into his suit, and even the cutscenes. You know, all the cutscenes are in real time, so it seamlessly transitions from gameplay to cutscene, which is, you know, it's seamless. Yeah, overall, graphics wise, you know, nothing to complain about. You know, great, amazing looking character models. You know, great environments. You know, solid frame rate. You know, nothing to complain about there. All right, so boss fights. This is actually a big negative for me because, in my opinion, the bosses aren't that great. I mean, there's hardly any bosses in the game anyway, and all of them are pretty shitty, to be honest. So you got I mean, especially compared to the previous games, you know, I think the previous games had done bosses a lot better. You know, to be honest, I'm trying to think now. Yeah, there's not really a lot of bosses in this game. I mean, yeah, you do have Firefly, but that's like mostly a chase. You got Man-Bat, which is also a chase. It's not really a fight. You got a fight with the Arkham Knight. I mean, that was like one of the lamest parts of the game, in my opinion. I mean, especially when you find out who the Arkham Knight is, you know, you realize like he's actually like really skilled and, you know, probably as skilled as Batman in terms of hand-to-hand combat. And then, you know, you realize, and then you actually get to the fight, and then you realize how the fight plays out, and it's actually really lame. It's horrible. There's not that many great boss fights in this game, in my opinion. I think Asylum and City did it a lot better. Even Origins. I mean, Origins is regarded as the worst game in the series, and even that had better boss fights, in my opinion. So, in my opinion, this game doesn't really have that great, you know, boss fights. But yeah, gadgets wise, so like I said, Batman has a wide variety of gadgets. Some he can use in stealth sections, others he can use in actual combat. So, you know, he's got things like the Batclaw, he's got like a freeze grenade, he's got an electric gun which you can stun enemies with, or you can use it in puzzles and stuff like that. Yeah, he's got like an explosive gel which you can use. So yeah, he's got like a whole variety of different gadgets in the game which you can use. My favorite one is probably the Batclaw. Like, I think you can get an upgrade of like grappling like more than one person at a time, and there's actually a move you can use in the game where you can actually, like when you're mid combat, you can actually use a Batclaw, pull someone towards you and just slam them to the ground. I think it's really satisfying. But yeah, the game has a wide variety of gadgets. So in terms of game modes, this game doesn't really have like that many modes, to be honest. It's got like the main story mode, which is obviously the main part of the game. Aside from that, you got like the Arkham episodes, and the Arkham episodes are basically like DLC episodes which you can buy. So you can buy like Harley Quinn, for example. You can buy her section, but to be honest, there's like, it's not really worth it because these sections are really short. And when I mean short, I mean really short. Like, I think I finished Harley Quinn's section in like, what? You can finish in like half an hour or something, or like an hour, I think. Oh yeah, you can get the Red Hood as well, and a few others, I think. From that, you got the challenge modes, which you know, there's combat challenges, there's predator challenges, and now of course there's challenges with the damn Batmobile, which is already used too much in the game. But you know, here we are, you know, adding more Batmobile gameplay. Hooray! So that's it for game wise. And a few extras you got in the game. You got like a character model viewer, and yeah, that's about it really. So I quickly forgot to mention the death scenes in the game. There's been a lot of times in this game, especially when I first played it, I actually died on purpose. And because like when you actually die, different characters in the game, like different villains, will actually say like a line.
Oh, off to see Mom and Pop at that big country club in the sky.
Didn't you know, Dark Knight? You can't fight fear.
Coming to the pros and cons of the game, so there's quite a lot to like. So You know, great graphics, nothing to complain about there. Great characters that are faithful to the comics. So you got, you know, Batman's voiced by Kevin Conroy. You know, Mark Hamill's in there. You know, as Joker in a few scenes. You got Nolan North as the Penguin. I think Troy Baker voices Two-Face. A great voice cast. Yeah, great combat in the game. Great stealth sections. You know, there's tons and tons of ways to play the game. You know, great detective gameplay. So yeah, you know, great variety of gameplay. So you're never going to be doing one thing the whole time. I mean, aside from the tank fights, you know, which I used a bit too much in the game. Yeah, coming to the negatives. Yeah, tank fights are the big negative in my opinion. I mean, it's used way too much. I mean, you know, it's used in Riddler challenges, it's used in during boss fights, it's used you know, throughout the whole game. You know, it's just like you're fighting so many tanks in this game. You fight so many tanks, you think you're playing Battlefield 4 or World of Tanks or something. It's used a crazy amount. Boss fights as well. So the boss fights in this game are terrible. I mean, if you want to call them boss fights. I mean, from at the top of my head, you fight a helicopter at some point. The fight with the Arkham Knight is basically not even a fight at all. It's more of like a stealth section, trying to avoid being seen and stuff like that. Yeah, like I said, the Deathstroke fight is the biggest letdown. Like, I was getting really excited to actually fight Deathstroke. All I got was a tank fight, which really sucks. I do think it's a good game. It is my favorite in the Arkham series, in my opinion. Obviously, it does have its own problems. I mean, yeah, like the Batmobile and stuff like that, which I mentioned quite a few times already in this review. Probably going to give this game a 8 out of 10. Yeah, and I knocked 2 whole points off due to the, you know, the boss fights and the Batmobile. I mean, I felt like they could have done a lot better. I mean, if this game had, like, you know, epic fights, you know, with Deathstroke and the Arkham Knight, you know, like a really epic set piece, like, even if it was like a quick time event, I would have been happy, you know, like a martial art fight, or like a, you know, like a fist fight with, you know, Arkham Knight or Deathstroke. That would have been so cool. That would have, like, given this game a whole point extra for me. And if it wasn't for, like, all the tank battles and stuff, you know, the constant tank battles and the Batmobile being overused and stuff, you know, this game, it would have been a 10 out of 10 for me. I mean, the game blends all these mechanics, you know, so well. You know, the stealth sections, the combat, everything is just blended so well in this game. You know, the story is great as well. But yeah, it just, when it comes down to it, you know, the Batmobile sections didn't really do it for me, to be honest. And obviously, yeah, the boss fights were a huge letdown. That's my review for Batman Arkham Knight. Let me know what you guys think, how I did. You know, what things I can improve on. You know, leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know, let us know what future reviews you'd like us to do. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. And yeah, take care, guys. Phoenix Reviews out. A line or two. Look at this. The camera moving. Just give up, man. Give up.